Hey, today I want to take a look at Vercel's new AI elements. So they've recently introduced these AI elements, which are like shad sand components, but for building AI chat. So they have a simple example here where you use the use chat and you render out a bunch of messages. Let's dive into more of the components. So taking a look at what it lets you build this whole chat interface. So it gives the wrapper around everything. It gives the scroll container, scroll to bottom, source component. You can jump down. Even this rendering markdown that's happening right now, it's happening in one of these AI element components. And so what this allows you to do is it lets you build a chat interface with a lot of the building blocks that you'll need for any kind of chat components that you'll have from an AI response. It even gives you this customized toolbar, so you can plug in any type of custom actions that you have here, and so you can build out a lot of these flows to exactly how it should fit in your application. So looking at some of the components that they have, we've got the actions component, which gives a few of these options. So you can copy the text, you can, you know, put the UI around these things so that you can then do these actions. Branching gives you ways to do different types of messages. Code block component for rendering out code within a chat interface. And this is kind of the wrapper around all of it. It's a conversation component. So it actually gives you this scroll to bottom. It lays out the messages in the correct way. We've got some images, loaders, message component. The prompt input is really cool because it gives you a way to kind of build out this customized input, and you can put all kinds of things in here, like a model selector. You can turn on and off different functionality you have, like maybe you have a web search or a deep research checkbox that you want to plug in here as well. And now with some of the new AI models, they also do reasoning. And so this combined with the AI SDK gives you a way to kind of pull those pieces out of the AI response, and you can open it up and see what it's doing and choose to package it up in this view for the user. So you'll see this in a lot of the chat interfaces, either within Cursor or on the web. You'll see this type of stuff now. It also gives you a response. This is a big one that will actually format the markdown that comes back from an AI model. And then you can plug in, if it's a code block, throw in the code block component. It does the links, it does everything. And one nice thing is if you're streaming in text from an LLM, the markdown might be incomplete. So like you open up a bold item and it doesn't have a closing tag for the bold. This will actually, the component that they've built in here gives a way to do automatically closing markdown tags so that you'll actually see the components coming in the right way. So you won't see the, star star bold text and then star star and then it all of a sudden turns into something bold. You'll see you'll see it coming in, and that's all built into this response component that they have. They have a few others that let you do suggestions. And then this one's nice to be able to render out tools and see the state of the tool. You can see what data the tool took in and what it output with. Um, and then the last one here I'll show is this citation, which is really great for, when the AI returns some kind of citation, you can do this popover that lets it jump in there. So the next thing I'll show is this chatbot example. And you can see this is the actual UI that is built out. And they use a lot of those components. A response component. Then even at the bottom here, they've got the prompt input. And so, when I turn on search, it turns that on. I can choose a different model depending on how I'm using it with AI SDK. And then looking at how it's actually installed, you can install all the AI elements. They're installed just like shadcn components. There's also a shadcn command to install AI elements. And then here is the actual code for rendering out the entire conversation in that view up above. So this use chat is kind of the main piece of where it's getting the AI chat interface. You've got a submit button, and then you're rendering out using their components. So conversation, you've got sources. So if a message is from the assistant, you can render out any sources where the message part is source URL, and then you render out your message content, and then in here for all the different parts that are being rendered, if it's a text, you render out this response, which is that markdown component. If there's reasoning, you render out that reasoning accordion that they showed. And this conversation wrapper has that scroll button. So as you scroll up, it gives you that way to scroll automatically down. And then one nice thing about this is it will keep your conversation stuck to the bottom as it's streaming in. And then the prompt input gives a lot of functionality and flexibility on how you want to build out your toolbar, or even just have a an input with a submit button. So this is definitely worth checking out. The AI elements uh, published by Vercel. They have ways to install it with shadcn, or they built their own command here to install it. But definitely go check it out. It makes building chat interfaces much simpler and gives you really good building blocks to start your chat off of if you're integrating chat into your own components. All right, thanks for watching. See you all in the next one.